Well, good afternoon, Jules. Beautiful, well, late summer, autumnal afternoon here in Oxford. Same in Manchester.
Same. I'm in Cheshire, mate. I'm not in
Oh, oh,
Manchester.
oh, oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
Macclesfield.
in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the just at the bottom. I'm about 10 miles away from Buxton, down the bottom of the Cat and Fiddle Road.
Oh, right. Oh,
So I'm on the
yeah.
edge of the Peak District.
Nice part of the world, huh? Well, here we go. It's been a busy old week, isn't it? The Bold Door. Oh, we're going to talk about heartache, and I know
Oh,
you will. British Superbikes at Assen. Great to see Scott Redding. He knows Assen like the back of his hand, and he certainly rode like that, didn't he?
didn't
We
he
look forward
just?
this weekend. Aragon, do you know Toprak has never won at Aragon, so he's got a chance to put that right this weekend. And then, of course, Motegi, the Japanese Grand Prix,
Yeah.
3 points required more than his brother, and Marc Marquez will be declared the 2025 MotoGP World Champion. And I just got a few remarks. I went to the Oxford Products 50th birthday party, and Motorcycle Stories were absolutely filled the evening. So I'll probably tell a few of those. Just on a rather more personal, sad note, I'd like to dedicate today's program to my old journalist and commentator friend, Paul Fowler, who passed away last week. We were the three musketeers in the crazy world of Grand Prix racing it was in the 70s and 80s. Myself, John Brown and Paul Fowler. It was a crazy world, both on and off the track. And, well, for adventures we got ourselves, scrapes we got ourselves into, never to be forgotten. We all started working together at Motorcycle News, and I went from then. And dear old Paul passed away last week. So God rest your soul, Paul. Right, on to this week and the socials. First of all, yeah, we let somebody down a little bit last week. We got so carried away with dear old Neil McKenzie. Wasn't he interesting, Neil,
Wasn't he good?
on every subject? Yeah. Naveen Pawar, 46, questioned why Valentino Rossi, he suggested, smiled and Rossi's best mate clapped when Marc Marquez crashed in the sprint race in Misano. I don't know. One, you've got to remember that Motegi, who was in second place, was a graduate of the VR Academy, and a very, very important part of it. So I think that may be some of the reason. And yeah, racing's racing, isn't it?
I didn't detect any untoward reaction from Valentino, I have to say. Um, the booing of Marquez, on the other hand, it was a completely different
Yeah.
kettle of fish, which was I found unpleasant. And it's did we get that? Did we get that in Spain, booing of Valentino? Not really, because Valentino was as popular in Spain as he was in Italy and
Yes,
everywhere else.
yeah, that's right.
But
I can't
but
really remember Valentina being booed greatly anywhere. Can you in any sort of
only at
volume?
Jerez when he punted Sete off.
Oh, yeah,
And he got. It was a chant when he was on the podium. It was a chant normally reserved for football referees who have displeased the crowd at the Bernabeu.
yeah. So yeah, I don't think Marquez and Valentina will ever be the best of friends. They were
No,
bitter rivals, and what happened in Malaysia 10 years ago, I think, will never be forgotten by either of them.
I
But I
think you're
think they've
right.
got. Well, I know they've got huge respect for each other. So I think,
It'll take another 10 years for them to get over it. If
yeah,
if you look at how people change after they stop the sport. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. That's true.
Mick Doohan's almost approachable nowadays.
Yeah, Mick and I certainly didn't get on well in the early days, and
Yeah,
now we were very amicable, good friends. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Right, here's some more up to date ones. PDC Red, keep up the good work, chaps. Loving it. Well,
We'll
thank you
try.
very much indeed. Peyton Beach, excellent podcast. Well, there you go. XRGH Balsara, thank you for bringing another true legend of the sport for us. An enthusiast. It saddens me to see where the bulk of the talent does exist. It's a matter of finding out in a manner where people don't have to sell their kidneys figuratively to get into the sport. Yeah, I can. I think money does play a part.
There was a comment on the Boldor commentary from Neil Mackenzie's son, who was commentating.
Yeah.
And he said this about, they were talking about the super stock and production classes, by the by, in endurance.
Yeah.
And he just dropped in a comment saying, these are going to be vital because these are actually just about what you can afford.
Yeah, yeah.
Try being a private team to run a superbike spec machine in endurance against those factory bikes. You can't do it. It's not possible.
You can't do it. Pacific 81X, great video as always, guys, and brilliant to have Neil as a guest. John Bond Donegan, 4 days ago, just a heart. Oh, well, there you go, Jules. I thought those days had long disappeared. And XRGH Balsara again. Right. In the case of MM93 versus teammates, a long-time Formula One fan from the early 90s, I don't think that Eddie Irvine and Michael Schumacher comparison is even close. Oh. Michael may have been most of the talent required to have the kind of success that he's had, but his sport also at that time allowed for unlimited testing. And when Ferrari have their own test track and near unlimited budgets back then, with Michael's level of dedication and technical expertise in car setup is why his teammates suffered. They never got any time to test unlike him. Sadly, MM93's runaway success because of being in the best team with the best bike is another 2019 repeat. Back then, we had it on TV here in India. I would watch the races live up to Moto2 and then record the MotoGP race. I only saw the 6 races not won by him and deleted the rest of the recordings. This year, with no TV option, I simply not renewed my video pass account, and that is being very expensive. Well, there you go. So
it's a bit harsh.
Yeah, but there we are. Somebody who doesn't agree with us, and I think we really want, I don't say we want more of it, but we're very happy to hear any criticism. And
absolutely,
this is what this program's all about, Jules, isn't it? Knocking it around a little bit, and what
absolutely, because there's a subject hovering over the horizon.
Yeah,
about whether with I think it's Liberty, or people are saying in Spain it's Liberty.
That's coming up. I can
about how many championships should Marc Marquez say he's got.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Fonzie Nieto taking umbrage publicly on behalf of his uncle, who he saw as being slighted by the fact that smaller capacity classes were, as he saw it, being forgotten. Yeah. But I can also hear the aforementioned Mick Doohan in my ear. Yeah. Saying, well, if you ask Michael Schumacher how many championships or races he's won, he doesn't count the Formula 3, does he? So I can see both sides.
Very much so. And we have a social about it in a minute. And I will tell you now, Dr. Martin Rains has agreed to come on the programme next a week, which is always good news. So any questions for Rainsy, but he has quite strong views, as you can imagine, on this. So that could be a bit of interesting. Right. Mm. Hi, Mr. Nick Harris. I already requested you in the Bruno GP video. Can you join Matt Lewis and Jack for commentating one race at least? It would be a waste of so much MotoGP knowledge without you, and I'm sure you can at least go 1-to-1 race, please. I think that's come from my sister, I think.
Yes. I can't afford you, Nick.
I'd love to do it, but I think those days are probably gone. Well, here we go. This is Naveen Panwar 46 again, and this is exactly what you were saying. I guess Liberty Media trying to remove Moto3 and Moto2 from MotoGP. They said Mark will celebrate his 7th title, not 9th. I think it's bad for MotoGP's long culture, where we used to give importance to those lower classes as well. So there you go. That's something, as I said, we are going to discuss, I think, at length next week. And I'm sure we've all, like you, Jules, I can see both sides of the story, but this sport has got such a soul, such a history.
And a long history.
We mustn't just let it.
There was a period of time, Nick, as you well know, when the 500s, they were talking about canning the 500s because all the advancement and all the investment was in the 250 class.
Yeah.
And so it's, since the classes have crystallised into Moto Grand Prix in two very much junior classes, as they are seen, with age limits for the kids in Moto 3, etc., the situation has become, over the past decade, really, has become more extreme than it ever was.
Yes, it has. And with Liberty have made such a success of Formula One.
Yeah.
And like it or not, they have made such an enormous success of it. You can see both sides. But as I say, I think next week we will really have a good old think and chat about that. And Dr. Martin Rains will obviously have so many facts. But you just think we're talking about 50, 125, Moto 3, 250, Moto 2, 350, 500 and MotoGP, aren't we?
Yes, they are. It's all. There was something else that the Liberty or alleged Liberty spokesman said this week, that the idea of canning Moto 2 and Moto 3 is absolutely not in anybody's agenda.
Wow, that's good.
There has been, I forget who the quote was from, and they're on the calendar for, the next 2 years are fixed and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So there is no urgency, if indeed there is any imperative at all, about erasing the smaller classes.
Yeah. So let us wait and see. Richard Wilkes, 8145. Where are the Brits? Stuck in club racing with nobody noticing them. No one ever mentions the great club racing we have in this country. It's if more people knew what was going on and supported it, we would find more talent. It starts at the grassroots level. But I think that's. Yeah.
We've always, BEMC and all the other clubs have always produced entertaining racing, but there still needs to be a structure if we're going to compete with the Spanish and the Italians. A career ladder.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what Neil said, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. The major, when it comes to more major junior championships, there's got to be those young riders in it. Yeah, it's incredibly difficult, and money, without a shadow of a doubt, plays a massive part in it. The British Superbike Championship, as Neil said, is such a fantastic success in every way. But just look what happened to Assen, and we'll come on to Assen this week. And so many of those riders we wouldn't call them youngsters, would you? And they've come from World Superbike and from Grand Prix, and
By the way, a shout out for Christian Hidden.
Yes.
Who on the Kawasaki, which is nobody's idea of the best motorcycle on any grid anymore, and all year he's been up the sharp end, and he got his reward with the win.
Yeah, he did.
Really impressive, really gutsy, I think, this year.
Because I remember his dad.
Don't we all? Yes.
Every time.
There's a lot of that about, Nick. A lot of that about.
I was doing a football match the other night. It was Oxford United Brighton in the EFL Cup, and there was a Hinchelwood player, and I obviously thought, that's the son of the guy that played for Oxford and for a year and got his promotion and everything in the 80s. It was his grandson. I felt very, very old indeed.
Yeah, that is. Oh dear, that is. That's a bit of a kick in the guts, isn't it?
It was his grandson. Right, kick in the guts, Boldor. Come on. Oh my golly, Julian, what did happen at the end there?
I mean, BMW have not won a damn thing ever, have they?
No.
They've been trying for years, and they were about to win the only world championship out there that's a full, every factory's in there fighting, every tyre manufacturer's in there fighting. They're half an hour away, and the engine lets go underneath Marcus Reiterberger. I mean, how horrible is that?
Yeah.
And 24-hour racing makes it even worse.
Oh my God, yeah, you've done your 23 hours, 30-something minutes, haven't you? Yeah.
And then it goes. I mean, I remember when I used to hang around with Matt Oxley in the team bike endurance lot. And Matt was also doing 250 racing at the time. He said, if you crash out of a 250 race, it doesn't matter. There's another one next week.
Yeah.
Go, damn it, and get on with it. You break down in a 24-hour race and you need, take away your shoelaces and your belt because you are don't feel very good about it. But as we were saying with Neil Mackenzie the other week, Nick, Suzuki did the perfect race.
Yeah.
No mistakes, no crashes, no breakdowns. Yamaha, who did end up being world champions, had a fairing come loose and it took 3 goes at fixing. That's why they couldn't win the race.
Yeah.
You never make that time back. The factory bikes are so fast and really quite even that 3 goes with a screwdriver at getting a fairing to stay on properly costs you the chance of a win over 24 hours. That's what I call racing.
Yeah, I watched some of it, some of the night stuff, which is just unbelievable. Yeah.
Way back when Steve Hislop, Carl Fogarty and Terry Reimer won the Ball d'Or on the Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Hizzy was faster at night than he was during the day.
Really?
Not totally. Apparently, there's a focus. That lets you focus even more. I was doing the PA stuff at the track, and I interviewed him and Foggy, and I said, "Hizzy, how the hell?" And he went, "Oh, it's because of..." And Foggy standing behind him, shaking his head and looking at the floor. Just
wow.
And what a track, Ricard. It's the stage it was on as well, wasn't it? Adds to the drama.
To me, and I as you know, I'm not I know a lot about world endurance, but Paul Ricard, the Ball d'Or, they just coupled together to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was not the same at Manucure.
Oh no, I'm sure it wasn't.
At all.
No. Right, on to famous tracks and venues. Scott Redding. Wow. I mean, he knows Assen like the back of his hand. Yes. What he's ridden 125, Moto 2, MotoGP. He's ridden World Superbikes, and then he goes there for the British Superbikes and win 2 races. And the ride in the rain, that first one was fantastic.
Wasn't it? Didn't he get a front row at Assen in Moto Grand
Yeah, he
Prix?
did. I'm sure
in the wet or something. So yeah. I mean, I remember Cal Crutchlow telling me yonks ago that Scott Redding was the best rider in the world when conditions were really, really wet.
Yeah.
I think he also told me that when it was damp, the best rider was Cal Crutchlow, but that might be my memory.
Well, there you go. But
and I'd agree with both opinions.
Yeah. Good to see Scott Redding win. And the points is still quite tight at the top of the championship. I think he just gained an extra 3, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. There wasn't a mega swing, was there?
No, there wasn't. No.
And you could argue that Brad Ray maybe lost an opportunity to close a little bit, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be great fun.
Oulton Park next, I think, is it? Your park,
yep.
Cheshire, you see, yep. I've remembered.
Cheshire. Not far away.
Not that far away. As I say, I went to the Oxford Products 50th birthday party. It was also the founder and Mr. Oxford Product, Alec Hammond's 80th birthday, but we didn't mention that quite so much. But, we were just running through the story. I mean, the people who had ridden for them, Trevor Nation, of course, TT winner, Jerry McWilliams, Grand Prix winner, Alex George, TT winner, Phil Reed, multi-world champion, Asa Moyes, the great late Les Bergen, and my old mate and local boy, Roger Cope, and a few stories. I remember Trevor Nation. Alex, one was always tight with his money, and may I say still is. And so...
He's just thrown a party for you, and you're saying that? Outrageous.
Trevor Nation rode in Villarreal, the road circuit in Portugal.
Oh, the road, the F1 championship road circuit.
That's it, TT Formula 1. And he rode the bike from their headquarters in Oxford to Portugal, raced in the race, I forget where he finished, and then rode the bike back. It was a great publicity stunt, but we all said it was because they wanted to save money on the
van on the ferry.
Yeah. So, and Roger Cope, local boy, my great mate. It was Oxford Fairings when Roger rode for them. But they ordered Oxford products because he damaged so many fairings, I think, that they felt. And wherever they were around, you had to be on your guard. They paid the biggest trick that's ever been played on me in my whole career. I arrived at the British Grand Prix at Donington Park, 75,000 people there, packed car park. And as I look, every car in the car park has a sheet of paper under its windscreen wipers. Oh, I wonder what, that's clever, somebody's getting around. I got hold of one of those pieces of paper, and on it was a picture of me. And underneath it said, "Stop this man and he will give you £100. And that was it. I ran to the paddock, through the paddock, into the media centre to hide in my little office or commentary box. And I only came out to go to the loo. And when I went to the loo, I was stopped at least £20 by people demanding £100 for spotting me. Thank you very much, Oxford Products. I tried to get my own back, but I learned that getting your own back only resulted in things getting worse.
Yeah, just invite more retaliation, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Normally, I don't think practical jokes are very funny, but on this case, Nick, I'll make an exception.
Well, it wasn't. They even. I was doing Radio 2 for the BBC then. They even announced it on that. I remember. Yeah. But a great birthday. Well, thank you, Oxford Products, for supporting motorcycle racing.
Yeah.
You're still doing exactly the same thing. So World Superbikes and Aragon, Toprak has never won there. So
amazing.
One, want to do it to get near clinching the championship, but two, he wants to win there. Yeah.
Did you see what Toprak did midweek?
No.
He went to Kota.
Oh, right.
And rode a super stock bike.
No, I didn't. No. Oh.
And he was quicker than the Moto America superbikes were on a super stocker.
Really?
Yeah.
My golly. So that's going to be interesting. And one wouldn't bet against him winning at least one of the races and getting nearer to clinching the championship before he joins MotoGP and onto MotoGP. Yeah.
But Boulaga and Ducati go well there. So that should be a good
that's right. Yeah, it could be a good battle. And we discussed earlier, it's a super circuit. Amazing place. Yeah. And hopefully the weather, looking out the window here now, is like it is here. It will be a fantastic weekend. We spoke about going to Barcelona for a MotoGP race. Yeah, because of the ease of getting there and everything. Aragon is totally the opposite, but it is worth the effort if you can find something to stay and get in there and then, because it is a fantastic circuit. Absolutely superb.
The problem is accommodation. If ever there was a place to rent a motorhome,
that is the place.
Drive it from Barcelona Airport or Rails Airport. You know, Ryanair's idea of Barcelona.
Right. Yeah.
But,
about 50 miles, 60
more
miles.
like 70, I think. But hey, let's not argue. And just camp at the track in your motorhome. That would be
without a doubt. It is the way to do it. And then MotoGP, Motegi. Alex Marquez has to stop his brother, gaining 3 more points to stop Big Brother winning the world title. I think he's going to do it there, don't you? And of course, Ducati will love every single moment at the headquarters of Honda.
Yeah, and was it 7 years since Casey won there? Because he took his Ducati title in.
He took his Ducati title. No, a lot longer than 7.
Sorry, 2007 it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So it's 18 years, that's right, not 2018, 18 years.
God, 18
Get
years.
the sums right.
I know, it was a wonderful winning there. It's an interesting place, isn't it? Let's first talk about the circuit. 2 tunnels. Surrounded by an oval. It is one massive, great, enormous open grandstand. It's almost unique as a circuit, isn't it?
It is, and it manages to be very Japanese, but also have an American feel at the same time. And the oval does that, doesn't it? With the
I don't know if they race on the oval now, because you park your cars on the oval now.
Yeah, they did. They had an American oval race had a round there.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
There has been car racing on the oval, but I haven't seen any on the box recently or heard of any. I may very well be wrong, but it's a funny track as well. A bit Mickey Mouse in places, but wonderful in others.
That's right. The corner I used to love commentating on. They come down that back straight, down the hill, and is it the 90-degree right-hander?
Yes, the
biggest gravel trap you have ever seen. And I don't think I can name a rider who hasn't actually been in that gravel trap at some stage.
It's a horrible, like you say, it's a long, fast, downhill straight.
Straight, yeah.
And then you're braking, there's no camber.
No.
And it might even be fractionally off camber, camber, and you're doing a right angle 90-degree corner.
Usually on the front wheel, trying to. I've seen Danny Pedrosa with the back. I've seen Danny Pedrosa with the back wheel almost as tall as him off the ground when he's braking for it.
Horrible corner.
God, there's been some races won and lost there, but there's been some great races. And of course, we used to have 2 Grand Prix in Japan. The Pacific Grand Prix it used to be called. The first time I went there was 2000, and Kenny Roberts had won the world title the week before in Rio, by finishing in 6th place on the Suzuki. It's Kenny Roberts Jr. And we went to Motegi, and he rode. When I've ever seen him, I've said, you rode like a true world champion. He arrived there and they said, you won the world title finishing 6th. Yeah. Okay. He destroyed them at Motegi.
Absolutely.
I think he beat
2000,
Rossi by 6 seconds. I think he beat Rossi. And if everyone improved himself as a real world champion, to me, it was that race.
I would agree completely. And right from free practice 1, he never gave anybody even the chance to think they might beat him, if I recall correctly. And the race was a destruction job. He humiliated the lot of them.
Yes, he did. I think that was, I am world champion, watch me. And and Kenny Jr. wasn't really like that, was he?
No, he wasn't.
He's modest. But he wanted to show them.
Do not confuse him with his dad.
With his dad. His dad would have been standing on the saddle making fingers signs.
Or looking at his watch or something as he crossed the line. He would have rubbed it in big style. But Kenny, But he would. I mean, winning the title in 6th gives the enemies some ammo, doesn't it? So
it does.
Disarm them as quickly as possible. I suppose.
My God, he did. And the last time I went there was 2017, and it was a fantastic race in the rain, because the weather can play a big part there, between Dovizioso and Marquez. And Dovi showed why he was a real championship contender, didn't he?
One of the best races I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
I still think. Just the 2 best in the world at the time, which is what we always, no matter what we say, what we remember and what we want to see is the true greats going at it.
Yeah.
And it was that run where Marquez could not beat Dovi on a last lap because Dovi outthought him every time. And this time in filthy weather, they were never more than a bike length apart, were they, basically?
No, they weren't. And I think we all fancied Marquez on the last lap to do it. But
Dovi did the hairpin corner onto that back straight.
That's right.
Perfectly, which was the clue. Got the run down the straight and that hideous corner we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Took it like it was. Yeah, took it beautifully.
Dark in the tunnel, all the lights.
Through the tunnel. Left room for Marquez's loony Hail Mary job. Yeah. Waved him goodbye and took the checkered flag.
Yeah, he did, and it absolutely opened up the championship, didn't it? And went right to that last round in Valencia. Yeah,
but I still think the quality of the riding, right through that horrible monsoon almost conditions, the quality of the calculation and the execution on the last lap was just brilliant.
Yeah, the weather really can play a part there. I remember 2011, we were due to go in March, and then there was an awful earthquake and tsunami.
Oh, yes.
There was the worry of a nuclear leak. And we went back, I think, in September. And I remember at the press conference before that the riders said they weren't going to go. They were really, really worried about the nuclear leak, about the quality of the water and everything else. Well, they did all go. And it was the first major international sporting event to be held in Japan since the disaster. And the welcome we received from the moment we landed in Tokyo airport, Narita and everything was absolutely fantastic. They really appreciated us going. The riders, the one rider, I'm not going to mention names, would only bathe in bottled water.
Yeah, I know. There was some absolute tosh talked.
Yeah, there was a lot of tosh talk.
Absolute. Okay, I'm speaking as a science graduate and a chemist, so I like to think I have some understanding of the science.
Yeah.
But God, some people might have done a bit of reading, or just got some acquaintance with the facts before they opened their traps. And some of it was
and the other thing, they did a what's it reading when you test
a Geiger counter.
A Geiger counter reading at the circuit. I think it was Ducati that did this, and they found out there was more radiation in Bologna than there was at Motegi.
Some, again, I think it was some Italians, had the Geiger counter out on the plane flying over.
Oh, really?
And up in the, tens of thousands of feet up, you get more radiation coming through.
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere hasn't filtered it out to absorb.
Yeah.
So they were looking at the Geiger counter going, God, look at that number. Yes. Do some reading, boys.
I haven't been in many earthquakes, but actually at Motegi one year, there was an earthquake. I remember lying in my hotel bed, and the whole cupboard started shaking. I think, oh my God. I didn't bother to get up. Some of the Italian journalists were down in the lobby and ready to scarper. But
I would have, I think, been on the in my dressing gown and let's get the hell out of here. Would have been my.
Interesting place, isn't it? Because it's
but
it is really in the middle of nowhere. They have those little towns and villages around. To get there is a nightmare.
Yes.
To actually get there, and I think they destroyed 2-3 hills to build this amazing complex. I think they've had a World Trials Championship there, haven't they?
More than once, yes.
Yeah, and there's a speedway track there, and then there is the museum, the Honda Museum, and anybody who has the chance to go to the Honda Museum, who has any interest in motorcycles and exotic multi-cylinder racing motorcycles, you've just got to go to the Motegi Museum. Unbelievable.
First time I went, which would have been year 2000, I think.
Yeah.
Entrance to museum, there's a Bugatti there, and I think a Mondial there. And because these were the machines that Mr. Honda looked at and went, that's the best in the world. That's the best in the world. This is what we must beat.
He took bits of them back, didn't he, in his hand luggage from the Isle of Man.
And there was lots of little plaques with Mr. Honda's quotes on. And the one at the front door was, the product cannot lie.
Really, yeah.
Which I always remembered. Oh, Nick, I think we're at the 2-minute warning already.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, my golly. Right. So, quickly, just that museum, the twin-cylinder 50cc four-stroke and the 125 5-cylinder, which I think was 350cc, well, 250cc's and a bit more
and a half,
added on. I mean, just Graham Noyce's winning motocross 500cc, which was really special to me. It's somewhere you've got to go to. So, 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Dr. Martin Rains will be with us next week. And as I say, we will be discussing what we think, how perhaps there's a compromise between just dropping the old world titles and also pushing on in the future. I think none of us want to stop progress, and I think we particularly understand progress, and MotoGP has to be right up there, and it has to do things that probably old boys like us won't like. But
and
don't lose the soul. Don't lose the soul.
Exactly, Nick. But that doesn't mean you stay fossilized in some certain period of time.
No, I think that's incredibly important. And hopefully, well, don't say hopefully, that's a bit unfair to Alex Marquez, but I have a feeling we will be celebrating a new MotoGP world champion, and what a comeback, what a rider, and everything else. Yeah. So the weather stays dry at Motegi. It's a pretty miserable place when it's wet. I can assure you, having spent hours talking to one person in some outlying country in the practice with the rain pouring down and nothing happening. I think we've all done that. And many thanks, Jules. And I'd just like to say, God bless Paul Fowler. And
Amen.
Thanks for everything.